Yes, Friday night, people. Friday night live stream. Friday night live stream. Let's do this. Let's do this. Want to make sure I have YouTube switched off because I was watching some videos before I said I'd do this. Just make sure I have the sound muted both ways. I do. That's the most important thing. I do not want to get this thing going with the sound both ways. So just give me a few secs and we get right into this. Yep. And we'll just let the chat get a little bit busy. And then we get right into this. Make sure I have this all set up the way I want it. There we go. Okay. That is looking good. Give me 2 secs. And we get this going. So, I think that's good to go. Just make sure that I have everything the way I want it. Because believe me, people, there was a few little cock-ups with this. I tried to do a little private one because this mic has not been working properly. So I just wanted to make sure everything was set up all right. Because I noticed with the last live stream I did, I don't know what was going on. I really don't. But for some reason, the mic was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of glitching out sometimes. So I was like, right, I need to make sure that doesn't do that on any future live streams. So I had to do a private live stream before I went live, just to make sure that it was working all right. And it is, because this is an old mic I use for these live streams. It's an old mic. So we get the chat going. JPK, shout out, G-Man, yes. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. As always, man, as always. Big up every time. Good evening, G-Man. It's a good evening, man. Appreciate you locking in. Billy, hello, mate. New subscriber. Love your work, man. Appreciate it. Always love to hear from new subscribers. Do you know that? Always love to hear from it, man. Every single time. It's always good to hear. A few things we got to talk about, you know. So a lot of news that's come out the last few days. It is good to have boxing news, you know, properly going. We got a good little schedule now between now and the end of the year. We got a very, very good schedule between now and the end of the year. 73 Urban, oi. Shout out. Dan, as always. Conlan versus Dogboe. Yeah, so I heard. Man, I don't know, man. That's a good fight, man. If Dogboe has anything left, I know he can be outboxed, but when he was with his dad, do you know what, right? His dad reminds me a bit of Tunde Ajayi, because he used to spar his dad, they were saying, Isaac Dogboe. So he's with a new trainer now. If he has anything left in the tank, he'll give Conlan some problems. Man, that Conlan, he's a knockout waiting to happen with Adam Boot. I think Dogboe will win that fight. It's not officially announced yet. Well, it's more or less going to be announced, but that's going to be a good undercard. If you've got Isaac Dogboe and you have Michael Conlan, you have Tyson Fury, you have Yard and Arthur. I really like that fight, man. I'm seriously thinking of going for Isaac Dogboe. If he has anything left, he'd win that fight. Seriously, if he has anything left, I think he'll have a fit. Conlan just that'll be one thing about it. It'll probably be the most entertaining fight I'll see in Michael Conlan, because all he does is he just fights just so boring. Like, he's just one of the most boring fighters I've ever seen watch. And he's always been like that. Like, I remember I watched him fight some Spanish guy on, I think it was Lomachenko versus Linares. And my God, I never, like, that was when I had a real proper good look at Conlan. And I mean, I was falling asleep watching that fight. And I mean, I was like, this guy, he needs to improve in so many areas and needs to get a bit more eye friendly, because that was not a fun fight to watch at all. So he needs some serious improvement. Intangible, shout out every time, Intangible. If any of you haven't, I'm pretty sure most of you have, but go and check out his channel. Intangible posts a lot of good stuff up there. So big up to him every time. Thoughts on Fury versus Takam? I mean, it's a last payday for Takam. It's one last big shot. So I don't really mind it. I think it's actually all right, man. I think he's not as bad as you know, Lucas Brown or someone like that. I mean, that would have been a fucking train wreck. That would have been a car crash ever I seen. Can you imagine they put Lucas Brown on? Man, that would have been some bullshit right there. Imagine that. Imagine giving Lucas Brown or Dave Allen. Imagine that Dave Allen saying he never gets opportunities and he ended up landing a Tyson Fury fight. That would have been some straight BS. So Dave Allen, I mean, fuck me. You got Johnny Boy. Shout out. Gerald the G-Man McClellan. Yeah, he's the original. He's the real G. He's the real G. You reckon Takam will go to full 12? He probably would, you know, like he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. Oh man, shout out Tony. Salute G man and the channel. Smash the like button. Man, thank you for the super chat, man. I really appreciate that, man. Seriously. Gee, I really appreciate it. Whenever I see that, man, it's always good. So appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tony. And yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. We got a good few in the chat now, actually. All right, that's after livening up nicely. What was it? Who was it? Jake. He said, "Do you know who's getting the Mike Tyson fight?" I'm gonna get it. I'll definitely get it. I'm interested in that. I'm interested more so because I want to see just how bad. So I mean this. I seriously want to see how bad Mike Tyson looks, because I'm telling you now, some people are getting real hyped and saying, "Oh, he looks this. He looks amazing." Hell no. But the only thing as well is I know that Mike Tyson isn't nowhere near the fighter he used to be. But I know as well, if he even imagine Mike Tyson throws like an overhand right with any great degree of power, and Roy Jones has his chin there. Oh man. Oh man, that's not fun. That actually isn't a funny thought, man. That's not a funny thought. Roy Jones could be out cold for days. Seriously. Well, I appreciate it anyway, man. Thank you for the super chat. What was it? Intangible. Dave Allen versus Mike Tyson is a close fight, man. Dave Allen, man, that guy, I swear to God. And yeah, where was it? Dan said it as well. Yeah, Lovejoy versus Allen. I know. I see he's 19-0, and he's only fought one guy with a winning record. I mean, that's Dave Allen in a nutshell right there. And you know what? He'll try and be like, yeah, you know, I'm being. He'll probably say it as well that he's being brought in to lose. The guy is 19-0 with 19 KOs. Oh man, he used to be funny back in the day when he first came along. Now he's just fucking annoying. Now he's really just flipping annoying. Oh, the guy just, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. Do you know what the thing is, right? If he wins, they will put him on another pay-per-view straight away. Like, seriously, could you imagine this, right? Say that Lovejoy comes into the ring, and I don't know, he has just say for everything, he has an injury or something like that. He pops a shoulder in the first round and they retire him from the fight. We'll probably see Dave Allen on AJ's undercard. If he's in there and it's not a troubling fight or anything like that, they'll pop him on another undercard. They'll pop him on AJ's undercard or something like that. You know, it's crazy. You've got Dogboe, good fight, looks like a good card. Yeah, I'm the same, Dan. Seriously, I'm the exact same. I just think Isaac Dogboe is going to win that fight. I think that's a good fight. I'm surprised they're putting him in. I'm surprised he's even taking that fight. Because Isaac Dogboe, I mean, Jesus. You know, look at it like this, right? He lost to Navarrete. But Navarrete was unknown at the time. And let's face facts, he's a good fighter. We know now Navarrete is no slouch. And think of it like this. Like, could you imagine Navarrete in there against Conlan or someone like that? Man, he'd wipe the floor with the guy. He'd fucking go through him. Go through him like a knife goes through butter. So, you know, I think that, yeah, man, I think that Conlan's in serious trouble. Serious trouble if he takes that fight. They probably will, but seriously, I'm thinking he's in serious trouble. Serious trouble, man. What else we got? Intangible. Fury versus Hunter would have been ideal, but honestly, Fury versus... Yeah. Seriously, right? Sakalowski would give Allen some serious problems, right? Serious problems, because Sakalowski's a dangerous journeyman, and he beat Lucas Brown. I would rather see that fight. At least Sakalowski's, he's durable, and Hunter would have been great, lads. But let's just face facts, right? Hunter is too dangerous. He's too if you have big fights waiting in the wing, Hunter's the most credible, but he's the most dangerous because he's short for a heavyweight. He's fast. He's just such a banana skin. You wouldn't take that fight unless you had to. And if you lost to Michael Hunter, well, people would be like, you've lost to a cruiserweight. You've lost to a cruiserweight. So he'd be the best. I would have picked him, but what can you do? CGB boxing, forget sleeping. G-Man stream is mandatory. Yeah, man. I was thinking like, will I or won't I do them? I was thinking, will I or won't I? And I was like, you know what? It's Friday night. The hell with it. We'll get a live stream in. I'll answer a few questions. Might even plug a headset in. Although I don't have any headsets actually here. I'd have to mute the mic for a couple of minutes. I might even, if I get a few. I'm thinking, will I get some guys on, or I don't know, maybe later. Hey, we got Mini Max. Shout out to you, man. Shout out every time. Man, lads, check out Mini Max Boxing as well, man. He's a good guy. I'm gonna be doing, hopefully in the next few days, my next like top YouTube channels, boxing channels. Definitely getting the shout, man. Definitely getting a shout. So Mini Max, shout out to you every single time. And I see Comey versus Felix Verdejo might be next. Who do you think wins? That's a good question, man. I'd probably actually go for Comey, to be honest with you. Felix Verdejo, I never was really high on him, even when he was undefeated. So I'd probably go for Comey, mate. Seriously, I probably would go for Richard Comey in that fight. Like he's lost to Teofimo. He lost to Robert Easter. That was a close fight, and he lost to, what's the guy's name? Is it Dennis Shalfer or something like that? His name is. So, and they were all close fights except the Teofimo fight. That wasn't close at all. Obviously, he got blitzed out in that fight. But Comey is good. He can punch. I'd go with Comey in that fight, man. Seriously. Intangible, Mike Tyson versus Lucas Brown. You'd favor Tyson. That he might clip him like Sakalowski did. Do you know what? Lucas Brown is washed up beyond belief at this stage. He really is. I mean, I never seen anything like it. Think of it like this, right? He had the fight against Shigaev. All right, he didn't look great in that fight, but he did what he needed to do. He was boxing a bit. He got rid of Shigaev. Then he had his break. And ever since then, he's just looked like a shell of his former self. And it's not like he took a serious beating against Shigaev. Or like that. Yeah, he was down, he was cut, but you know, he wasn't like he was getting, battered from pillar to post or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to Lucas Brown. Oh yeah, and he popped twice then. The one in Chechnya was a bit dubious, though. I'll admit, though, when he got popped in Chechnya, that was dubious. It was like Chisora is a trash card. Let's keep it real, man. It's muck. It's absolute fucking garbage. I don't know why. Since when I done that video yesterday, right? Some guys, I'll bring the camera in for a bit. Some guys were saying, right, that they buy it because they like Chisora and stuff like that, right? I was like, but like, there's nothing to compel me to buy that card other than the main event. I'm not going to buy a pay-per-view for one fight when the rest of the card is absolute garbage. So, and I don't, I can afford to, but I'm not gonna, because it's a matter of principle. Like, I'm not just going to chuck 20-something quid out for a card that's not good, a card that's not flipping good. So, no, man, I won't be doing that. I won't be buying it at all. Buying the White Povetkin, and hell, I will definitely be buying the Tyson Fury. I'll definitely be buying Tyson Fury's undercard. If we're getting Tyson, even if he's fighting Takam or if he's fighting Kabayel, if we are getting Isaac Dogboe versus Mike Conlan, Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yard, plus other fights, that's gonna be good. That's a card worth buying. Selby versus Cambasso. I keep getting that name wrong. I don't know where the R comes from. Who wins? Honestly, man, I'm reckoning Cambasso wins. Seriously, I've never, even when he was a featherweight, I never rated Lee Selby to win. I don't reset Lee Selby at all. I always thought, like, yeah, he's good long range, but he can't punch. He's not that physical. He gets hit a lot. For someone who's meant to be, slick, he gets hit an awful lot, too much. So I never really rated him. But when he was fighting Warrington and people were saying the Warrington fight's going to be a mismatch, I was like, well, yeah, Warrington, at the time, he never struck me as anything incredible or anything like that. But I thought, you know what? I think that fight's going to be a lot. I said Warrington would win. Obviously, I wasn't making videos at the time. But I was kind of like, well, Warrington, I think, will win. But I wasn't that convinced. I was kind of like 50-50 because I wasn't sure how good Warrington was. But I never doubted he could win. just because I never rated Lee Selby. I always used to look at Lee Selby and be like, what am I missing with this guy? You hear people saying he's this, he's that. Yeah, he can move good. You know, he's a good little boxer when he wants to be, but he wasn't fighting anybody. You know, he's not a name. And that guy, he won his world title off Gradchek or something like that. He looked all right in that fight, but that guy was over the hill and he got blitzed out by Valdez in his next fight. So I sound like a proper wanker to Lee Selby, but that was just how I seen it. That's just how I seen him. Dave Allen versus Mike Tyson is a close fight. Yeah, probably. Jesus, man. Dave Allen. And he'll come out and say he's being brought into Lewis as well. I think it would take a special man to take Hagler and 4-ounce gloves. Fuck that. Jesus, take someone stupid to agree to do that, man. G-Man, what's next for Cash Ali? Oh, man, what's next for Cash Ali? Jesus. He actually won a fight over Sakalowski, I think. I think he only won it by like a round. So not much, I'd say. I can't imagine there's going to be much going. Oh, not again. All right. Sorry. Camera fuzzy. I don't know why that keeps doing that. Give me a sec there, lads, because I like bringing the camera in. And I don't know why that keeps doing that. All right, let's try that now. I have no idea why the camera keeps doing that, and it kind of fucks everything up when I do it. So give me a sec, and I'll just... Yeah, that looks a touch better, I think. Nope, fuzzy. Fuck it, we'll just do it with no camera. Fuck it. Sorry, lads, we'll just do it with no camera. Fuck it. Prime Hagler versus Prime Allen. Jesus, man. Hagler the middleweight versus Allen the heavyweight. Which Prime Allen is it though? Because we've got Allen 8.0. We might not have his prime yet. Might be Allen, what, 10.0 or something like that we get a Prime Allen. What do you think of Conlan versus, or how do you think Dogboe versus Conlan? Yeah, man, I'm seeing so many people pick Dogboe. I'm picking Dogboe as well. I'm going to give that to Dogboe. Dogboe, like, he's took 2 beatings, bad beatings off Navarrete, but he still seems to have a good bit left. Like, and before that, he never seemed to take any beatings, and I can see him absolutely lighting Conlan up with body shots. And the thing about Dogboe is, right, he's so short. I wonder how effective Conlan's body shots are going to be on him, you know, because he can dip. And, you know, even by like, even featherweight or bantamweight standards, Dogboe, he's only like 5'2". He's tiny. He's tiny. Wow, Cash Ali's beaten him twice. I knew he beat him once, but Jesus, he beat him twice. Jesus. I always wonder about guys like that when they're like low-level fighters and they're fighting the same guys over and over again, because it just means like that they've not really got much. They've really got no other options. Do you watch YouTube channels such as... I watch both of them, man. Like IFL. I like Boxing Social better. I think Rob Tebbert is the best interviewer in boxing, bar none. So I like both of them. I like both of them a lot. Big up hashtag G-Man's Rocks. As always, you got to get the hashtag G-Man's Rocks going. Always. Jesus, I can't believe that fucking camera's fucked up again. But it is what it is. Are you watching UFC tomorrow? Yeah, I will. I do watch Khabib when he fights. I do. I don't know what it is. I just like watching Khabib. So I'll definitely be watching Khabib versus Gaethje. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. Be interesting to see how Khabib looks, because this is the first after the death of his dad. He's been out of the octagon for... I'm going to watch it. I like Khabib. No, I do. I like watching Khabib. But it's just always annoying when you hear like them, like people like Mayweather saying, oh yeah, I want Khabib in a boxing ring and this, that, and the other. It's like, what? Why, if you want the box so bad, why are you calling out all these MMA guys? It's so flipping annoying. IFL Umar loves a bit of Tyson Fury. Oh man, they're all... that's one thing I don't like about IFL. Like, they do silly things. They really do. Like, do you remember when Shannon Courtney was interviewed after Rachel Ball, and she was like, you know, being a bit disrespectful, and they switched the comments off? I was like, come on, why are you doing that? Like, I know, like, obviously if they're saying really terrible things, then yeah, that's different. But, you know, come on. What time is the UFC main event on it tomorrow? Jesus, man, God only knows. God, the UFC tends to go on for ages, man. You think Cash Ali would... Honestly, man, Dave Allen is so shot at this stage. I don't even know, man, at this stage what the hell he's going to do. Seriously. Do you know what, right? There are good prospects out there. Seriously, there are some good prospects up and down there, right? And they deserve. It's not that they deserve to be on some of these pay-per-views. They deserve to have some of these, opportunities. And you just get Dave Allen, who it's like, I can just picture him, right? Sitting on his like sofa, eating a pizza, phone rings, I'm fighting on like a card in 3 weeks' time. Great. Yeah, I should be training, but I'm gonna finish my pizza first. That's kind of how I see it. Like he just I don't know, man. It's like how I don't know. He just doesn't seem to be motivated and shit like that. And he keeps saying, like, remember when he said he was trained by Adam Boot and he could have stayed with Adam Boot. It was like, why didn't you? If it's gonna improve you, why not? And he was like, he wanted to go back to his old coach because he'd been with him for so long and just a load of stuff. Tommy Fury returning on Heffron versus Bentley 2 card. All right. Do you know, I never really rated Tommy Fury. The only reason I do videos on him is because he does good numbers. That's literally the only reason. And his dad's in the corner. That's the only reason I would cover any of Tommy Fury's fights is because he does good numbers. That's literally it. Other than that, I've no interest in watching the guy then, to be honest with you. But he does good numbers. That's the main reason why I'd watch him. That is literally it. So he'll return on that undercard. I'll cover his fight. He does good numbers. I'll give him that. But that's about it, man. And I remember the last time I covered this fight, people were commenting about his misses. I mean, like, Jesus. Jesus, man. Ever I seen a girl pasted together, it was that. Girls like that, they just, no, not for me. Khabib looked bad at the weigh-in. Yeah, but he's huge for 155. He is, man. He is absolutely massive. And he's always had issues with that weight for years now. For years. You'd think Justin Gaethje in 3 rounds. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a good little scrap. It's gonna be a good little scrap. It's gonna be a good little scrap. But I can't wait to see. There's very few times I watch UFC because I'm a proper casual. Like someone asked me about a UFC fight once, and I thought it was a boxing match because I didn't recognize the names, and I knew. And someone I think said it was on Channel 5 or something like that, and I thought it was like a boxing match that I didn't know or something like that. So Khabib looked terrific on the scales. Man, those UFC guys, and MMA guys, they are cutting serious weight. Like it's not even like people say boxing is bad, man. They are cutting serious amounts of weight. I used to watch a couple of like documentaries on like their weight cuts. And man, I felt bad for some of the guys seeing what they were doing. It's crazy. Cash Ali fighting one of those guys from the Ultimate Boxer. Oh man, that Ultimate Boxer. It's fun to watch, but Jesus, they get some absolute rough guys in there. They get guys you never even heard of. Seriously. What is it? Oh yeah, I remember there was a comment that saying, Joe, shout out, G-Man, how's life? It is actually going very well, as always. Man, I ain't got no complaints. I'm going well. Hashtag G-Man's rocks, hopefully that goes well. How you doing as well as Terry O'Connor? Well, Terry O'Connor, let me read you this statement from the British Boxing Board of Control. Right, it's basically saying the British Boxing Board of Control Judge Terry O'Connor appeared before the stewards of the board to discuss performance on October 17th. Allegations made on social media and printed that Mr. O'Connor was using his mobile phone, similar to a hand device, following an intense consideration of the footage and Mr. O'Connor's evidence supplied. The stewards are satisfied that Mr. O'Connor was not in any possession of a telephone or handheld device while carrying out his duties for judging the contest between Lewis Richardson and Miguel Vasquez, and his scoring of said bout was not affected in any way. In addition, Mr. O'Connor's scoring of the bout, when you hear this, was considered, and whilst judging a contest is subject and following Mr. O'Connor's explanation how he scored the fight, the stewards are satisfied of Mr. O'Connor's score reflecting on his own. So basically nothing's happened. Now basically he's getting nothing. He got brought up and told to explain his scorecard, and that's it. Jesus, man. What is it? It's like, has anyone ever seen the movie Hot Fuzz? If you ever seen the movie Hot Fuzz, there's a scene in there, right, where one of the main characters, he's a policeman, and he gets caught drink driving. And basically the guy who arrests him didn't know he was a cop. And he goes to the inspector. He's like, Inspector, what are we going to do about Danny and his little... And the chief inspector was like, well, his little indiscretion. And he was like, well, it's hardly an indiscretion, drink driving. He's like, no, that was for losing his helmet. For drink driving, he's just going to pay for everyone's ice cream. That's kind of what it's like. It's literally like you could make a massive fuck up, and they're just like, get us an ice cream, we'll forget about it. That's basically what it's like. Just like in the movie Hot Fuzz. Hey G man, shout out, shout out. Shout out every time. Pretty sure it was his scorecard. His scorecard was absolute muck, man. I don't know how he like, sir. I'd love to know how he justified it. I would honestly love to know how he justified it, like what he actually said or how he justified that scorecard. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. I don't know how he could have done it. Khabib must cut 40 pounds plus. Absolutely crazy, man. He's huge. He's huge, man. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how any of these UFC guys do it. I don't know how McGregor used to do it to 145. He used to look like a heroin addict. Seriously, I imagine if a boxer done that kind of weight cut. I'm telling you now, people say like, oh, boxers cut too much weight. If a boxer cut the kind of weight UFC guys did, they'd be knocked out fairly quick. I'm telling you now. I remember Brandon Rios when he was making 147. He used to look bad. I mean, that guy used to look death warmed up. I remember some of the fights. He used to look horrible. I think the worst I ever saw him was when he fought Tim Bradley at the weigh-in, though. I mean, at that weigh-in, he looked horrific, the Brandon Rios. That guy says Bacoli versus Hammer will be a decent scrap. Yeah, I'd actually go with Bacoli in that. I'd go with Bacoli in that. They have a common opponent in Marius Vac, and Bacoli stopped Marius Vac, and Hammer got absolutely sprawled out by Marius Vac. Sprawled out. Where are we here? The guys in the UFC are cutting more weight than I did when I had. Yeah. Man, that was funny as fuck with some of the comments you had in the chat. That was funny as fuck with some of the comments you had in the chat last week. Aaron Dingle, do I have a contact for Mark? I do. I don't know how I can get. The only other thing, I don't know how I can get it to you without putting it in the chat. I have my WhatsApp. If you want to go on my about page, my email address is there. If you want, I don't even know if it'd be okay with me giving it out, but I'm definitely not gonna put it in the chat. That's one thing I won't do. But I do. Connor did look like a junkie. Yeah, he did. He looked like an absolute fucking holy heap. Yeah, good Connor. Man, he's funny as fuck with those comments. Spence Jr. was some crazy weight cutting stories. Yeah, Spence, man, he is like I still think that the guys in the UFC, some of the cuts you see, like they're on the verge of passing out. They literally, some of them have died. So I remember there was a story of a flyweight in UFC, and I think a flyweight in UFC is like 125 pounds, so basically featherweight. And I think they said he was trying to take off something like, Jesus, what was he trying to take off? Like something like 30 pounds in the space of a week or something like that. So fucking crazy, man. I don't know how you could do it. Khabib will be more effective at 170, but he's too small. Yeah, he is quite sure. He would be effective at that weight, though. Where he'd lose a lot of his, I think his grappling wouldn't be as good because he's really, it's the physicality he has the advantage over. Khabib would not be a good middleweight. Isn't middleweight 185? Isn't 170, but that said, he is the same height as Woodley. Yeah, I think middleweight is 185, though. I think middleweight is like a cruiserweight, and I think 170 is welterweight. You read the board statement earlier, no great surprise. Yeah, man, it's fucking. Oh man, it is fucking. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. As I say, try checking him. He's been getting crazy slander, and he put up crazy posts on Twitter and deleted his account. I was only onto him earlier, and he seemed fine with me. I was texting him earlier. I can always give him a text after I finish up here if he's in the chat or anything like that. But I only just texted him earlier, or he actually texted me, and he seemed fine. I'll give him a shout. Actually, I'll give him a little text now while we're here. There we go. So we give him that there. Yeah, no, I was on to him earlier. He seemed fine. You're correct, G-man. Really don't follow UFC just when there is no box. Well, I don't know much about UFC, but I know some of the weights and I know some of the like little details like that. But yeah, definitely 185 is middleweight, and then I think it's light heavyweight after that. What was that someone said about Khabib on the weigh-in? I missed that comment there. T Torn says you can say, oh Jesus, man, that's never a good sign. That is never a good sign. That's what you get for not living the life. Yeah, yeah. I don't understand it though, because like some of these fighters complain about how hard it is to make weight, how this, that, and the other is, and then you see them like it's mad because you see them outside of like fights, and I don't know. You know what I think is crazy? I don't understand how they do it. Like when you hear stories and you see like even Dave Allen, for argument's sake, right? When you see someone like Dave Allen, right, and they weigh in at like say 230. Okay, so they weigh in say like 230 in March, and then they fight again like middle of May. So say they've been out of the ring for like 6, 7 weeks. They're 230 in one fight, and the next fight they're in the 240s or not the 240, they're in like the 260s or 270s. It's like how is that even possible to put on that much weight? And what the hell are you doing when you're meant to be training? I was always just like, what the fuck? Like, how is that even possible to do that? Like, what exactly are you doing? That's how Khabib looked. You can, oh man, I don't even want to know how they must feel. I remember Canelo when he used to weigh in at 155. The boy looked hungry. That's just the best way to describe him. He just looked hungry. Looked like he was dying just to get something to eat. Spence, 3, 4 years ago, must have had some weight cut crazy. He used to look ripped but no fat whatsoever. I remember that, man. You could see the veins and everything on the lad's stomach. It was crazy. It was crazy what he used to do. It was crazy some of the weight cuts he used to do. 40 people in the chat. Damn, we doing well tonight. Yeah, we're doing well tonight, man. Smash the like button as always if you haven't already. 40 people in the chat and only 18 likes. Let's get the like button smashed, man. That's all I really ask. That's all I really ask. Tony covers your bet with Chisora. Oh man, yeah, I seen that. I seen that he was saying Chisora by KO. No great surprise. Wait there. I'm gonna try and hopefully that's better because it's crystal clear on my end. Because I like bringing the camera on. So hopefully that's crystal clear on my end and it's not on. Yeah, it looks fine there. I'm just checking my phone because I have the camera on this to make sure it's good. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. I don't know why it keeps getting so fuzzy. It's annoying. Because I like keeping the camera on these live streams just because you're used to seeing me while I sit over there, actually, on the other end of the living room. But you're used to seeing me with that. The notorious leg hugger. Hey there, mate. Just came across your channel. Love from Belfast. Oh, man. Shout out. And if you're new, big up every time. I always love seeing new subs. New lightweight is 155. Really? Oh, yeah, yeah. Really? Lightweight. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Lightweight to 154. You see, I'm showing my lack of knowledge about UFC. I'm seeing my lack of knowledge of UFC. There we go. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Every single time, man. Every single time. That Mexican meat. Yeah. That Mexican meat is some good stuff, all right. Is some good stuff, all right. Ruiz is so skilled, fast, and tough. He's a problem. Ruiz under Eddie Reynoso, he is going to be. I'm looking forward to seeing him. You know, some people were saying that they wanted to see him and Tyson Fury. You know, when Tyson Fury was having his comeback fight, I knew that was never going to happen because if you're taking a new trainer and you're coming back after not a devastating loss, but a loss where you didn't cover yourself in glory. I mean, you covered yourself in more gravel than glory in that fight against AJ in the rematch. So you're gonna want to take things a bit slow. You know, you're gonna want some good comeback fights and see how it goes. So give me a second. We go. In terms of entertainment, two fat guys. Ruiz is quicker. Ruiz is probably the harder puncher too. That actually will be a good fight. I'll give you that. I wouldn't mind saying that. Both PBC guys as well, so it's a fight that can be made. Kalnaki, I can't believe he got knocked out by Hellenius. I can't believe that. You're looking forward to Estrada card. Hopefully, we'll see Estrada come face to face at the end of the event if they both will. I think they both will. I think they both will. Estrada is one of my favorite fighters. You know, I remember when he fought Quadras the first time, and I mean, like, I thought he beat Quadras up and down the ring. You know, it was competitive, but I thought he clearly won the fight. I remember they announced the scores wrong. They announced Quadras as the winner. And had the knockdown in the 10th round not have happened, I think it would have been a draw. I think they all had the same scorecards, 114, 113. And I mean, I was way wider than that. Way wider than that. But I remember that was a good fight. And Gonzalez versus Gonzalez versus Gonzalez, basically. That's a good fight too, because Israel Gonzalez, I mean, he got robbed against Gaethje, robbed out there in Monaco. So man, I'm looking forward to all them fights, man. Those Superflies, they've been like, for the last like 4 years, that division has just been on fire. And we got big up the Troll Network, shout it every time. Troll Network doing some good work out there. To check out his channel as well if you haven't already. We got a few good guys in here. So how many we got in the chat? We got like 36, 37. So we got the Troll Network. I'm trying to see if I can how far I can go back with the Troll Networks. Check his channel out. We got Mini Max. Always check his channel out because he's been at this longer than me. And he's a lot younger, but he's a good guy. Makes great videos. So check out his channel. And obviously we got Intangible as well. So check these guys out. Always good guys. Always good guys. Always good to have them in the chat. So big up every single time. Every time. Miller versus Rivas Ruiz. I'm just making sure that I'm just worried that camera's going to glitch out again. Miller versus Rivas Ruiz. Fuck it. No, fuck Miller. Don't ever. No, fuck him. Fuck Jarrell Miller. No interest seeing him again. He's been given chance after chance after chance. He's fucked it up. So no, fuck him. Did Miller get banned from boxing? I haven't heard anything. Hopefully we get word on that soon. They have to ban him from boxing. They have to. They won't give him a lifetime ban. You can't. You see, it's so hard to do a lifetime ban and stuff like that because there's so many ways to kind of have loopholes and stuff like that because of like things like, you know, you could be banned in what, like 40 states for argument's sake, and there could be like 10 states that will let you in, you know, somewhere like Rhode Island or somewhere like that, which is, you know, a real small state where they probably don't have much fight. They'd be like, fuck it. They'd be like, yeah, fuck it, we'll get him. Is that seriously? I hope not. I fucking seriously hope. I hope he's all right. Hope nothing's happened. Jeez, I hope nothing happened to him. Miller doesn't deserve a payday. He doesn't deserve any fights. That should never be allowed in the ring again. You know, I used to like watching Jarrell Miller fight. You know, I did, but fuck him. He's had his chance. He's blown it repeatedly, and he's just like, the excuse he comes out with is, yeah, it was Viagra, it was boner pills, which, you know, to be fair, you give him that. You give him that. You give him that because, you know, the amount of stuff he's put into his system, I mean, God only knows, is down there even functional anymore at this stage. Be like 2 sesame seeds down there. That's what it probably is. Love from Belfast. Oh, man. Belfast is a good city. That's a good city. I used to go out with a girl from Belfast. Briefly, very briefly. End of 2018, start last year. She had such a strong Belfast accent, though. Oh my God, I could never understand half the things she was saying. Like, I mean, like, really strong. Really strong. That was like, it was funny because, like, she lived in Dublin, obviously, but like, she'd be saying things and she'd talk kind of quick. And I mean, I'd be just like, yeah. You know, yeah. You know, that was crazy. She's the only girl I ever went out with that was older than me, by the way. She was like 2 years older than me. And I always felt a bit weird because I'm always someone who goes for girls that are a little, I'll say younger, like a year, 2 years younger. I've never gone out with a girl, well, apart from her, who was older than me, you know. That someone who I'm working with, you know, and other people as well, you know, as someone, she's, I think, a couple of years younger, I think 2 or 3. I think about 2, actually. I think about 2. So, yeah. Not used to that. Remember, I do. He looked, yeah, he looked god awful. He put on like a crazy man. He weighed in like 118, and how much was it? He was like 118, and he raised like like nearly 140 or something like that. Canelo has nightmares about making weight. Yeah, man, serious amounts of weight. He was cutting. He was cutting about 20 or 30 pounds, well, 20 pounds definitely. What the fuck? Please don't say things like that. Oh, Jesus. Oh no, that ain't good. That ain't good at all. Um, I'll have to give him a ring in a little bit. I'll have to give him a ring. In a little bit just to make sure he's okay. I mean, I'll end this now in a little bit. Then I'll just give him a shout, make sure he's all right. Um, because that ain't good. And yeah, the Control Network. That was a great video. But I really, because see, I don't use Twitter at all. Like literally, I use it to see Coppinger and Benson, but I'm not even signed in. So I just glance at that and oh man, I really hope that's someone please check this out. I heard Mark on Johnny's channel last night. Oh, man. Yeah, man. I'm probably gonna call it here in a bit and give Mark a shit, make sure he's okay. I don't wanna be I feel like a right prick if I didn't give him a ring. And I kept on live streaming. I'm gonna cut this probably here because I need to give him a shout and just make sure everything's okay with him because fuck that. If things aren't all right, I need to maybe give him a help out because that's not good, man. Um, so people, I'm sorry about this. I'm probably gonna call it quits here. So I'm just gonna give Mark a ring and make sure he's okay. I don't want to see. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a ring here. So, peeps, I'm gonna call it quits here. I'll do another one maybe tomorrow just to make up for this. And I was enjoying it. So sorry about all this, people. Sorry about all this, but I'm gonna give Mark a shout. Make sure he's okay, peeps. I'm gonna call it quits here. As always, peace, and I'll talk to you.